Welcome to Monday Mentor. We're going to start, and people can turn up as they do. All good. There's an intelligence to it all, and very simply, there is a reflex. A lot of stuff in our physiology and psychology is set up in a reflex, and there's a breath reflex. And you'll know it is that obviously, if you try and not breathe and you hold your breath, there'll be a mechanism kick in that'll make you breathe. It'll force you. And it's the reflex. So you meet it mostly unconsciously on your out breath, and you get to the bottom of the breath, and then there'll be a place where it breathes in again. And then there's a place it breathes to, and then it breathes out and in and out and in. And there's this reflex. And when we breathe in the reflex, it is basically perfect because it's geared by the intelligence of it all, and it gets the right oxygen, the right CO2 mix, gets the right pH, gets it all running very nicely. And of course, there's an emotional predisposition that kicks in, and we feel good, and the chemistry all works. But what happens is that we can breathe consciously. And like many things in our lives, as we go outside that magnificent nature of us, and we get involved with our thinking, and we influence it, or we react, or we interpret, or we want something that's a little bit outside the norm, and we force against it, we go against our values or whatever, and we start to get a whole different experience. But in the breath, in its isolated nature, its simplicity, the same thing takes place. So the breath I want to show you very quickly, and I compel you to play with it every day, at least 3 minutes, just sit quietly, is like now, just sit comfortably and put your attention on the breath, which you're used to doing. Just watch it. And it's funny because you're watching it, and am I just watching it or am I influencing it? Who knows? But the best you can, just watch it and watch it come in and out. And you'll notice you'll breathe in, it'll get to the place, and then you'll breathe out, and then you'll want to breathe in. You might notice a little gap sometimes between the out breath and the in breath, and etc. And just watch it. And start to watch, especially when you breathe out, the part where it starts, where you feel the breath in taking place. Don't try and influence it, just pay attention. And in this experience, as you do it, and you just start to witness the in and out breath, there's a saying that says, as you all know, what you pay attention to grows. So as you put awareness on the reflexive breath mechanism, the breath resets. It just resets to the reflex. And there's a whole lot of stuff goes on that can help you reset how you're feeling. If you're anxious, if you're panicky, if you're a little bit overwhelmed, it just helps you reset everything. But like all good things, it takes a little time to get used to and watch and try and get your head out of the way, but just watch that reflex. And it'll help you, and what most people say, and I've been in a sort of a course, a program with some people, which I'm still in, and what most people say is that you'll start to feel a sort of a calm. It's just somehow you start to feel it's quite nice, watch, and it's peaceful. And it's a nice place, it's a good place. So what I recommend for you to do is like now, just go in and watch that breath coming in and out and just pay attention to it. That's about it. And pay particular attention to the part where it's out and breathe back in again. And just allow yourself to notice where the compulsion or the reflex pushes that breath to activate. And be aware of it. And throughout the day or whatever, just come back to it, have a quick look, and just see, where am I breathing? And watch the reflex and get on with your day. Allow yourself not to obsess about it. Just every once in a while, have a look. And if you can formally do a 3-minute or more experience, or add it to your meditation if you're a meditator, it's a good thing. And just sit and bring it in and watch that reflex. And research, the doctors that are running the course I'm doing are saying the repercussions, the positive repercussions are amazing. And these are respiratory specialists. So there's a gift for you. On that note, bring your attention to slow breath in, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, and come into the coherence. And just notice through breath work, you're actually able to take quite a bit of control of your world, of your consciousness, of your health, of your emotional state. And often, this is the stretch, not all, but a lot of the pathologies, the apparent psychoses that are bandied about these days, like the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Illness, the DSM-5 now. When I studied behavioral science back in the early 90s at uni, they were in the DSM-2 or 3. So we keep adding diseases and labels and issues. But what happens in this is that through breath work, it's not a cure-all, but there is an amazing awareness that breath and changing the breath lets go some of the pathologies. So they were caused through poor breathing, overbreathing, too much oxygen, too little oxygen, too much CO2, too little CO2. And all of it goes with it. So just noticing that if you can just in the breath work, there is a whole lot more going on, but it's a simple thing. And easily, push comes to shove, you breathed anyway. So, if you don't give a shit and you just go, you know what, I'm happy just with being breathed, you'll get by. But if you really want to cut the edge a bit and make it a little sharper and feel a little better and be a bit more youthful, breath work's very cool. And just that heart coherent breath and watching the reflex and coming to some of the circular breath, the deep dives I do, and that are done around the country, around the world now, they really help us find a balance. So on that note, I want you just to get ready, and we're going to do some deep dive stuff where we really stir it up, and we're going to do the 40-50 breaths, breathing in and out 30 times vigorously into the gut and up to the chest, and then holding on the out breath. When you hold, you increase the CO2 levels, and oxygen needs CO2 to enter the cells, to be transported on the blood. So on that note, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Just enjoy the stillness. Sitting in the day, the beginning of the day, sitting in stillness. Nothing to do except be. And allow yourself to do that. And funnily enough, when we do that, like in the breath hold, or we stop for a minute and meditate, or we just stop for a minute and watch our breath, we are in being, and it helps reset our equilibrium. It's healthy because a lot of people are too busy to stop. So they don't reset, and they have all sorts of issues, ailments. So just noticing you're taking the time to do this now is really good for you and really good for those around you. There's always time to stop and reflect. And in saying that sounds audacious, and no one's that busy they haven't got time to stop for a minute and reflect. It's bullshit. course they've got time to stop for a second. You're not that busy. You can't take a few seconds just to stop. And running your breath again. Oh, hold. Increase the CO2. Help the oxygen get into the system. Switch the brain on. Increase the brain power. Reset the pH. Healthy. Helps the immune system strengthen. Helps you be calm. And it's a nice place. And if you could add to it, depending where you are, you can take that stillness, that moment, and be on a cliff, looking at an ocean setting, on a beach, walking through a rainforest, sitting quietly somewhere, having a cup of tea on a deck in an old shack on the bush, being up in the Kimberleys, looking at the view, gazing aimlessly at the beautiful Australian thousands of years of sculpturing the land by the wind and the rain and the sun. Listening to a piece of music. And just notice in your stillness, feeling calm, or just being in the moment, paying attention. When you're ready, do your hold, a breath in and hold, and then let it go and go into another round. Learning to let go thought. Contemplating the new season whispering its way in at the moment. Slightly cooler mornings, cooler evenings. Just watching yourself change clothing perhaps, or not quite yet. Putting on some boots and trousers or a long sleeve top. Maybe closing doors at night. I don't know. But just notice there's stuff going on. Just adapting to change. Adapting to changing clothes, to going to work. Taking them off when you come home. There's always change. And if you pay attention, like sitting quietly, watching the reflexive breath, you start to notice that going on. At the risk of being philosophical and intense, Catherine and I are spending time with her mother at the moment. Catherine's mum is in her 90s, 94. And just watching her, she's not always here in the immediate world. She'll dream off. And just noticing that's okay because she's transitioning, letting go her need to be active in the three-dimensional physical space, to do things. She's more in the being. It's amazing. Just notice, where are you taking the time just to be and doing your thinking before you do, before you act, before you react. What's really happening here? And then the breath hold. Yes, I'm influencing the CO2 distribution, but I'm also sitting in absolute stillness. I don't need air in the moment. Noticing it. And then you dive into water and dive down. Don't need air at the moment until you get to a point deep down where you have the reflex or reflex kicking in and says, you need air, dude. And you're in a place where you can't take any unless you've got the equipment attached. Then you've got to get to the surface to another place so you can take that air. Or if you practice, you can hold longer. And all of that. And in the dance of your life, are you sitting in the stillness? Are you holding space? Are you too long in the stillness and doing nothing as such? And need to get some doing happening. Are you procrastinating? Are you putting off doing? Or are you doing too much? Are you breathing too much? Are you breathing not enough? And as you look at it all, just check. Am I in poise? Am I in balance? Now, if you haven't already, run another breath. But with consciousness. And as you do this, as you breathe, think of the negotiations, high level, high pressure, doing a property deal, doing a business deal, making a decision, negotiating, trying to win, sitting in stillness, feeling the pressure, feeling the panic, feeling the need to, I've got to do something, I've got to do something, the market's going to change, and just shh. So remember, the stillness, the breath hold, is your friend. The stillness, the quietness. Take a moment, sleep on it. Come on, John, make a decision. I just need to sleep on it. I'll talk to you in the morning. I'm taking a moment. I'm sitting in the stillness. I'm going for a walk. I'm letting go for a minute. I'll come back to it. I'm not sure yet. I've got a funny feeling. I need to walk it through. I need to do some research. I need to talk about it a little bit. Take time. And the reason I say this as you do your breathing with me is I hear 1,000 times when I say to somebody, just do 3 minutes breath every day, do 5 minutes twice a day, do this, do that, meditate. I haven't got time. Did you do it? Oh, I started, but I've been a bit busy this week. I got something came up. I couldn't. And sometimes we are slaves to the busyness. So as you watch the reflex, you're taking the time to pay attention. For some of you who have done the work with Catherine or me or both, over the years, you'll be familiar with the word ecology checking. To make a decision is to check the ecologies. In other words, to check the system just to make sure that it's a yes in all dimensions, not just one outcome that wins, but the others have a repercussion that lose. Just checking the ecology, taking the time to be still. So as you hold or sit in that breath, now contemplate. How you doing? How's life? What are you waking up to every morning? And as you walk around the day, just check. I caused this space. Do I like being in it? Is it working for me? Do I need to change something? Do I need to change? How am I doing? How's my health? How's my fitness? How's my relationships? Especially the one with myself. Do I like being me? Or is it just another day in the idea of being an asshole? You know, whatever, wherever you are you okay? And just check it. If you're not, sit quietly, contemplate, check in what's actually not working for me. And take the time. So now go into a 5-second breath, 5 seconds in, or when you've finished your other breath. And set the heart coherence. And sit quietly. And I'll do a meditation. And if you want to go into a breath, just a nice, slow 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Or do a circular breath. In and out, through the mouth or nose, it doesn't matter. Just a nice circular breath. Or just a 5-second in, 5-second out. And imagine yourself, if you will, on a beach. And just allow yourself to notice what you notice if you're standing there or just quietly walking. You might be noticing footprints you live. You might notice the water come and lap and just influence the footprints, or wash them completely away. Or they're there because the water hasn't reached them. Just noticing everything has its place. And as you move along, just put your awareness and notice, is there a breeze? Is the breeze affecting the surface of the ocean? Is it affecting the sand? Is it blowing the sand? Or is it quiet? Are the trees or the foliage at the back of the beach being moved? Or are they still? What time of day is it on the beach? And just moving along, noticing what you notice. I'm going to ask you to do something that might be amusing. I want you to now walk out on the water and stay on the surface. Because the imagination is capable of anything. And as you notice yourself walking on the surface, just pay attention to your psychology in, well, interpreting that. Or feeling a little bit, I don't know, trepidatious. Or a little bit, I can't walk on the surface of water. Or you can, and it's easy. And just notice it without judgment. And as you walk out further to where the water underneath of you would be deep, and allow yourself to walk. And as you walk, allow yourself to walk up and over the movement of the water, the waves or the swell. And just walk out. And notice what you notice about your psychology, your emotion. And then sit down on the water. cross-legged or just comfortably, facing whatever direction you feel most drawn to. Or change it because you can at the speed of thought, and relax. And just notice what you notice from that position. Notice the beach in the distance. Notice the foliage or the hills or the cliffs or whatever it may be. Or make them, cause them. And just close your eyes sitting on the water. And if one was to hear the sound of voices, you could open your eyes and notice a boat going by with people, all pointing at you as you're sitting on the water looking at them. And it reminds me of a story. And if you could conjure up a boat now, a little dinghy, a tinny perhaps, or some sort of fabulously made, handcrafted timber boat, a little clinker built, beautiful. And as you sit there, I want you just to be sitting there and imagine the land. And some of you will remember this story from time gone by. And you'll hear a sound on the land. Mo. And being curious, you will, at the speed of thought, transport the boat to the shore and hop out and follow the sound, mo, mo. And as you walk through the foliage and you find yourself getting closer and closer to the sound of mo, chanting, you'll find a little man or perhaps a little woman sitting there, maybe not little, meditating and chanting mo. And sometimes we think we need to help through our knowing someone else and correct them. And find yourself saying to the little meditating, beautiful being, I think you mean, and the little being or big being looks and smiles and says thank you and starts chanting Om. And feeling that you've helped, you can leave. And as you hop in your boat and you're going out, you look and open your eyes and see the little being sitting at the back of the boat, asking you, I'm so sorry. I forgot what you told me. And then you can recognize the deeper wisdom and go, I think it was Mo or Om. And as you take that and maybe use it somehow today or think about it somehow, whatever it means to you, sometimes we get so caught up in our knowing and our rightness and the information that we forget to pay attention to the all-pervading deep nature of it all. It's far more complex than our knowing. And sometimes it's better just to sit in the quiet and be still and notice what's going on without judgment. And of course, sometimes it's useful to share information, but then you can learn to tell the difference. So as you watch your breath now and find yourself walking along the beach and checking as you come the other way the footprints are still there or not. And how amusing that is. And you're breathing anyway, and how amusing that is. And the breeze is doing whatever it's doing, and the ocean's doing whatever it's doing, and they're all interacting together. And I'm talking. And some of you might be thinking, I wish you'd stop talking, so I can just be in the silence. And some of you might be thinking, I wish you'd keep talking, so I can just sit here quietly and enjoy. Some of you might be thinking, I've got to get to work soon or do something. Hurry up. Whatever it is, just take the moment and pay attention. And just notice. It's okay to take a little time for you. And as you take the little time for you, you deserve it. And you've always got time, somewhere in the day, to take a moment to be. And if someone says, as I often hear, I just can't find 5 minutes, then we need to look at the design of your distribution of time. Or am I just too uncomfortable to stop and be with myself? And I need lots of distractions because I don't want to look too closely, whatever it might be. And wherever that is for you today, I want you just to take your stillness, take your moment, and allow it to pervade your week. And bring stillness and a little quiet and a little being present to your week. And then look at your week and see it's successful already. Just like you conjured yourself walking on the water. And just notice that your imagination is causing it all. And as you imagine the week in advance, is an extraordinarily great week in this new season upon us. You could unmute and just share any thoughts or feelings. Or I have to go now moment, whatever it is. Blessings and light. Give us a call if you need me. Give us a call if you don't. I get lonely. And thanks for coming along and having a chat. It's so nice.
Wonderful. Cheers, everyone. Have a good week.
Yo.